This episode contains discussions around mental health and suicide. Some viewers or listeners may find distressing. Okay, you ready? Let's do it. You're listening to Chats from a Chair with me, Nick Dempsey, coming to you from my wheelchair. I speak with people who have a great story to tell, portraying the human potential, often in the face of adversity. Check out the Instagram page at chatsfromachair_podcast and let me know who you think I should have on and have a chat with. Also, don't forget to hit follow on whatever platform you're listening to this. But for now, sit back and enjoy this episode. G'day, and welcome back to another episode of Chats from a Chair. Today I have with me Ryan Wiggins. Mate, thanks for coming on and having a chat.
Thanks so much for having me here, mate.
Bring your own chair, so that's good. That's a good start. You are a fellow quadriplegic like myself, so obviously we want to talk a lot about that, about your injury and everything, and also something that I'm pretty interested to chat you about is becoming a new father while being a quadriplegic. So we'll get to all of that, but let's start back at the start. Tell me, what were you doing with your life, with yourself before you had your injury?
Yeah, so at the time I was just a 26-year-old guy, and I was a full-time builder and played footy every weekend, loved playing footy, and just recently bought my first home really, and everything was as normal. I was a normal, happy guy and loved footy every weekend, loved my mates, family, and then, just as you know, just drastically out of nowhere, just something so small and something so simple that, you know, that you could go and do again a million times and nothing would happen. But it led me into this position where I am today, and I'm a quadriplegic.
So I think, from memory, you're as stupid as me with diving, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yep. So it was a diving accident. Take me back to that night or that day, and talk me through it. What happened?
Yeah, so I had football that day. It was a Saturday, and just got up as per usual, packed my footy bag, and off to footy I went and played footy that day. And we had a function that evening, and just as you do as mates, and we just had beers and drank. And I originally had a lift planned with one of my mates to go home that night, and he approached me at about midnight and said, "Yep, I'm heading off," and he's going to head home and it's time. And I, silly enough, turned around and said, "No, mate," as if I'm staying.
Haven't had enough yet?
Nah, nowhere near enough.
Yeah.
So, myself and a few other mates kept going and kept drinking, and then decided, we was up at a mate's at a pool, and me, silly enough, first, I stripped down and jumped into the pool, did a dive, and hit my head on the bottom, and from the moment of me diving into the pool, I've got really no recollection of nothing at all.
Shit, like you said, it's such a small moment, especially, I mean, hindsight's such a bitch, isn't it? But when you see you've got a lift planned and there could have taken that, and obviously life could be very different. It's that butterfly effect, but again, there's no point in thinking like that, is there?
No.
But one of those things. Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's the same way as I did mine. It's you just do it all the time, don't you? And then that one time you do it wrong, a few beers, and it all goes wrong. So your mates are there with you. They jump in after you realise something's wrong.
Yeah. So they jumped in shortly after I'd hit the bottom, and they brought me back up, and they knew that there was something wrong at the time, and got me to the side of the pool and got me out of the water, and then from there, it was just a matter of ambulance coming and the guys keeping me warm with blankets off the side of the pool, and trying to get the ambulance here as quick as possible, and hopefully, they'd hope for the best case scenario, but obviously, that wasn't to be the case.
And so straight away, did you don't remember any of that being on the side of the pool or anything?
I've got little flashbacks. It probably took 2 years after my injury that I started to get little tiny flashbacks, and
Yep.
I can remember. Sounds weird. I can remember jumping, like doing the dive into the water, and I can feel the thud of when my head hit the
Right.
bottom.
Yep.
And then from that, there's nothing really until I woke up. I think it was about 2 weeks later from a coma.
Oh shit! So
Um,
you're put in a induced coma
yeah,
for that long.
yeah.
Why? Do you know why they did it for so long? I don't think. I think I was in one for maybe a day or two.
Yeah.
Do you know why yours was so
Um,
long?
they tried to stabilise me originally,
Yep.
where I had to have a surgery on the back of my neck and the front.
Yep.
So I got transported from the scene to the Royal Hobart Hospital, and they took my family straight in and had a chat with them and told them that look, it's not looking likely he's going to make it through, and
Oh really?
it was super hard for my family, I could imagine at the time, and pulled mum, dad, sister into a room and said, look, he's had a really, really bad injury and it's not looking promising, and like go in there now and go and be with him and say what you need to say, because we don't know if he's going to make it through or not. So
Yeah. Shit. So I didn't realize that you were actually. I just thought spinal cord injury, you break your neck and you'll go back and be stabilised. I guess just sort of relating similar to me, both diving, but
yeah,
obviously really different. So do you know what it was? If it was your respiratory system, did you take water on, or exactly why it was
yeah.
so much
So
more dangerous?
I did take some water on originally. I had quite a bit of water on my lungs, and obviously I had the injury quite early in the morning, and it was freezing cold. Obviously in Tassie, the weather there is not warm as it is, and it was in the middle of the winter. So
Surprised the pool wasn't frozen.
I
China
know,
would have.
I know, it was probably an ice lake, but
Yeah.
I think it was about 2 degrees. I think it was, and
Right.
I got some pneumonia as well, and so they just put me straight into an induced coma, and it was from there when I woke up it was about 2 weeks later, and I was in Melbourne.
Yeah. Shit. That would have been, like you said, so tough for your family to. Like worst case scenario, obviously you pass away. No one wants that, but then might have been told, if he wakes up, he's going to be a quadriplegic. Where that in itself is devastating. But when it's either quadriplegic or dead. You take the quadriplegic option as positive, and
Yep.
yeah, that's a conflict of emotions. I couldn't imagine the roller coaster they were
Yeah.
going through. And then when you do wake up 2 weeks later, do you have memories of waking up, or what's the first thing you do remember?
I can remember waking up and I was at the Austin in Melbourne. I can just remember waking up and then just looking over, and I could see Mum just standing there at the side of the bed, and I had a trachea in at the time, so I couldn't speak.
Yeah.
I was just all just nodding in the head and shaking my head to communicate, and I remember Mum standing there on the side of the bed, and um, she just looked at me, and like I said, I couldn't speak or anything, but we just shared each other's company, and I think she knew how severe that it was at the time, but didn't really want to talk about it or try to relay that message to me in those such early days.
Yeah, that's fair. Like, yeah, being a family member of this stuff, I look at it with my family as well, what they would have gone through, and we know so many other people that have gone through
Yeah,
spinal cord injuries as well, and everyone has their own story. But to be there and for as a mother, see your son wake up and be so happy, but then so devastated at the same time for him, it's a lot of emotions going on. How did you handle that in the early days in hospital? So when you woke up, realised the extent of your injury, and found out you were going to be a quadriplegic.
I can still remember the guys when I got up onto the ward. There was my big main surgeon guy came into the room, and there was a couple physiotherapists that came in as well, and they sat Mum down, because at that time was right in the midst of COVID, and
Oh, that's all right. Yeah.
I couldn't have any other visitors beside one, and that was for only 2 hours a day,
Shit.
which was just Mum. So I had Mum beside me, and the doctor said to me that unfortunately with the state of Ryan's injury, it's not looking like he'll ever walk again or regain any function at all. And that was, to hear those words, it was extremely devastating. And me being I don't know, a little bit biased of that. I was like, I didn't really understand the full concept of what a spinal injury was,
Mm.
and like the recovery from that. And I just honestly thought it was just like breaking a bone, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, yep, all right, I'll just be in hospital for a while, and a little bit of recovery after that. But yeah, that's not the case with a spinal cord injury.
No, it is not. No.
No.
I was under the same illusions as you, thinking that
Yeah.
what does this surgeon know?
Yeah.
Just yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be right. Yeah, shit. So you found that out and thought, no, I mean, actually, sorry, go back to being in COVID and having that one visitor, like going through what you're going through in ICU and just trying to deal with that, where you're just in your own head all day, not laying there, only having that one person 2 hours a day. I couldn't imagine that. Did your head go to some dark places?
Yeah, definitely went to a lot of dark places. I only had mum from 11 till 1 every day, and that was really hard. She used to come in and give me my lunch, and that was something that, at that time where I did have, I only had it for 2 hours, so I spent 22 hours of the day just by myself and in my own head, and I had to draw on a lot of things and what things that I could try to help me get through those tough days early on, and I just really drawed back onto that time I had with mum, which I know it was only 2 hours, but I really looked forward to that, and I knew that I'd wake up of a morning and be like, oh yep, awesome, I get to see mum today. I get to see her for a couple of hours, and mum used to actually, when I did have my injury, the guys back home and over in the mainland as well, I was quite lucky. They sent me quite a few like video messages and stuff.
Oh, yep.
And mum used to come in and she used to show me 4 of them a day.
Yep.
And I used to get excited and be like, oh, who wrote me one today? And
Yeah, sick.
it was just those real small little things that, you don't really think of, that I had to really draw on at the time.
Just focus on those little positive things, and
yeah.
the combination of a lot of positive things stacked on top of each other can get you through there. That's awesome to be able to just focus on that in such a dark place too, that just to get that through. I think I remember you saying a while ago as well, there was in those early days that, I don't know if you said to your parents, or you thought that at one stage you had a wish that you didn't wake up. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did wish that, and probably until maybe I'd say 12 months ago now, like I still fought a lot of those demons and those hard battles, and I used to scream it out to mum and scream it out to dad and say, like, why me, like, why am I like this? And it's something so small that has changed my life forever, and I'll never I'll never be able to play football again. I'll never be able to. I was just looking more at the negatives at the time, but I suppose when you do get faced with such a life-changing injury in the early days, you do look at those negatives more than the positives. And there was a lot of dark days and times where I didn't want to be here, but I look back at that now, and it was hard, and I'm just so grateful and so glad that I did get through such a dark time in my life, and it's brought me to where I am today.
Yeah, I think it's such a natural thing into when you're put in a situation like this to have at least some of those thoughts. Some people more than others, and it's tough not to focus on the negative when there is so much negative that you've been faced with at once. So, I mean, again, important to recognize it, and recognize again now you can look back at it and look at the way you got through it by focusing on those positives, or recognize that now, I was in that bad space and I've overcome it. And there could be more of those days in the future. There might not be. There probably will be at least days, but you've got through that, and you can draw on those things in the future again now too.
Yeah, definitely.
So once you did make it through the hospital system and you were able to return back home, was that a positive experience for you? Were you excited to get back home, or what? I know, just again myself, there was mixed feelings of you want to get out of hospital, but there's also that you're a bit nervous, a bit anxious to return back to life as a quadriplegic. What was your experience?
Yeah, I was very, very similar. Like I was so excited to get out of that hospital system and, to get back to home and be like around mum, dad, my sister and things like that, and be in a familiar environment. But then you also look at it, and I was very scared to get back home and to see all my friends again for the first time.
Yeah.
And then see the other family members that I haven't seen, and you know, and I do look at it and I look back now and I think how silly, but I was like, oh, I wonder what they'll look at me and think of me because I'm in a chair.
Yeah.
That was just the first thing I thought of
Yeah.
straight away. And but yeah, now I do look at it and there's no difference at all.
Yeah, you're probably thinking about it more than they're thinking
Yeah,
about it. I
yeah,
know
yeah,
I had Tony on here a while ago, another quadriplegic, and saying that it was, yeah, he probably had more time being around other people than other people had being around him.
yeah,
And yeah, that hit home for me because I was probably the same where, yeah, I was thinking similar to what you just said, just what are they thinking about me? How is it going to be awkward? Is it not? And
yeah.
yeah, once you look back on it, and so you had really good support from friends and family in those early days when you got back
Yeah,
home.
yeah, I was super lucky. I had a lot of good friends, close friends and family that gave me a lot of support even through those hospital days of not even being able to see me. But like I said, with those video messages and things, and when I did get home, yeah, all the guys like my old building company helped out, being able to get me out of the hospital system and renovating mum's house to be able for me to be able to come back into, and the football community as well, and even just the whole of Tasmania, to be honest, how much they sort of wrapped their arms around me and helped me get through those early days, and they still do it even to today.
Having that community support is so massive, isn't it? Just
Yeah,
being able to rely on others, and I'm sure that would have been a good sounding board for your family as well to be able to give them extra support because they're trying to support you, and then
yeah,
it's a chain effect. They get supported by the community, and
100%.
everyone helps each other out. If you can find a sense of community, it's yeah, a massive thing, and especially in these, as we said, negative or hard times with each other. Did you get stuck straight back into rehab, just trying to make the most of a bad situation straight away, or what was your mindset getting back? You just wanted to acclimatise to life again?
Um, yeah, I think I was just more acclimatizing to life, trying to get back into the new me, the sort of the new life that I was faced with, and the new life that I was gonna have to move forward with, and it probably did take maybe 6 to 12 months after I got home for me to start to get in the swing again of trying to want to better myself and wanting to move my body again. And I got stuck in a pretty, like I was saying, a dark spot, and I didn't really want to do anything at all at the start. And I was just at home, just woke up, did the bathroom stuff, went out, and I just sat on the couch and just watched movies all day. And
Yeah.
yeah, it probably wasn't until one of my carers, who was my first carer really, Kyron, and he yeah, he motivated me like nothing else, and yeah, just came and grabbed me, picked me up, and said, "Come on, we're gonna go do this." And then yeah, if honestly, if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't have kick-started back into rehab
Yeah.
and or came up to making strides as quick as I did.
Yeah, it's very easy to get stuck in that rut, isn't it? Especially, I feel like once you start that rut, then it's just easy to continue, and then try to break the cycle. And again, relating back to my experience being down in Albury, there wasn't a lot of rehab there for me to do or anything.
Yeah,
So it's based in Melbourne, which is 3 hours away. So, and then Tassie even colder than Albury, but
yeah,
especially during those winters, you don't have the motivation to get yourself outside and go do things. So you do just get stuck in a bit of a rut. But to have that person to be able to push you and get on to the next thing. But it's even these days, like I'm 8 years down the track now, and there's still, you get stuck in ruts of not feeling motivated, or once you get past that stage and you're like, right, well, now, how do I get back into life? And that sort of thing, and figuring out your next step of acclimatizing back into life, of finding whether it's work, whether it's relationships, whether it's, yeah, what is the next stage. So you're able to enter into, I guess, navigate something that can be difficult in dating as a quadriplegic, and began a new relationship. How did that come about?
yeah. So it sort of come about. At the time originally, yeah, I was a single guy, and I thought that 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 door of finding a partner and starting a family was closed, and then I did get stuck in that silly head frame of like, oh, who's going to want to date someone that's a quadriplegic or in a situation like myself, and then yeah, I met Lou, and yeah, we just got on like a house on fire and shared so many similar traits, and yeah, we just hung out a lot more and a lot more, and then yeah, just one thing led to another, and then we ended up started hanging out a lot more, and then dating, and then yeah, it just sort of it's crazy how it happened, and it just kicked off, and then next minute, little Cooper comes along.
Little Cooper, yeah, right. That's a quick change of events, mate. From yeah, convenient just to start hanging out and then progress from there. Because like you said, you can get stuck in a rut of who would want to date me or
Yeah.
whatever. It can be for so many people with all different disabilities. Dating can be a whole a massive thing that's tricky to navigate. So. You have any tips? I'll just come to you, mate. Just
I wouldn't come to me.
um, but okay, so that you entered into a relationship, and then to have Cooper, is that something that was that able to be conceived naturally? Because I know a lot of people with all different spinal cord injuries in particular have different levels of sexual function. So was that something that was able to be natural or IVF, or how did that come about?
Yeah, so we had to go through the IVF. And we were super fortunate that it happened and worked first time for us, and which is fantastic. And it's obviously something that I never thought I'd ever go down that path of, but we're so happy and so glad that we could make it happen, and that it did happen first time, and it was a little bit of a process, but we're super stoked and super happy that we got to where we are today.
He's a little goer. He was in here just before 9 months old, tackling everything, and he's exploring.
He doesn't stop.
um, did you have apprehension about that? Like, I just thinking about again back to me thinking about like if I was to be a dad, I don't know how to word it, but you worried at all about that you weren't going to be able to contribute in the same way that an able-bodied dad would be able to, or how you probably imagined yourself being a dad when you were younger?
Yeah, I do. Well, there's a lot of that, self-doubt that happened, and it still happens even to today. Like when I see little Cooper, like he might run up to my chair and he puts his arms up for me to come and grab him or whatever, and then just like little things like that, or if I'm, like he's crying or something, and like I feel that I can't do anything to help, and I just want to pick him up or do something to be able to help Lou out around the house, and it is super hard, and I still find it hard now. I'd be lying if I said that, that I don't find it hard, but I do struggle a little bit with not being able to help with those physical side of needs to be able to help Cooper, and but I guess I can show a different side of me, and that's the emotional side, and be able to talk to him and make him laugh and those sorts of things, and then just hold on to that hope that one day that things might change for me, and I might be able to regain anything really, any arm function or something of anything, and that I'll be able to play with him a little bit more.
Yeah, like you said, there's so many different ways you can contribute as a parent. Like, think about your parents, emotional support, advice. There's obviously so many ways that you can contribute as a parent other than just the physical. But I mean, that would not take away, I imagine, from those negative times. But I imagine it would give you a lot more drive and perspective in things in life as well, though, having that extra motivation just to get up out of bed in the morning when you're having those shit days and just get after it a bit more.
Yeah, definitely. Waking up and seeing him every day and just seeing him smile and laugh just brings the biggest joy to my life. And honestly the best, and it's something that I'm so grateful for. And like I said before, it's something that I never really thought would ever happen, and that door was closed for me. But I'm super grateful that little Cooper's here, and he's an absolute little menace.
He definitely is. He'll be a footy player. Who's he have to go for? New Tassie team coming in?
That's if it comes in.
If it comes in,
I reckon the new Tassie team for sure.
Right, he doesn't have a choice. I'll try to get him on the Bombers, but he'll get kicked out. Okay. And just circling back a little bit with you and Lou again, how do you find that balance of between a partner and someone who, I mean, obviously people in our situation need help with so many little tasks? Is that something you guys talk about and try to find the balance, or how do you do that?
Yeah, we do speak about it quite often, and trying to find that balance between, a support worker and also a partner and a mother at the same time. And like we live together, and she does so much for me, and a lot of things behind closed doors, like with like the lifting and like all the the bathroom needs and stuff, to be able to help. But we do try to draw a line through as much of the sort of personal care stuff, and try and draw that back away from her and try and give that to the more care worker stuff. And she just handles more of the stuff of a night time when it's just the three of us at home or whatever, and helps me out with like a drink or just those little things like that. But early days, she did a fair brunt of, a lot more, I'd say, support work side of things. But yeah, these days she sort of just more does the mother and partner kind of
Try
role.
to keep that a bit more of a clear line between it. So you still use other support workers as well during the day, as like with you guys are at home as well. Yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. Like I said, it would be could take you look at the friends and family partners around. You want to take as much of a toll off them as possible, don't you? So I imagine, especially as a new parents as well, you have that in mind. It's good to have that realization and actively know, and not just to expect too much as well, which is a good outlook to have. And now, 4 years down the track since your injury, when you think about your disability and whatnot now, how do you think differently than in the early days? Do you think maybe that you're a bit more capable of things that what you probably expected, and just your life is a bit different than what you would think it was going to be?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot different to what I would have thought it would have been. But I am, I don't know. I just try to use what I can use, and I guess that the early days compared to now, now I look at the more the little things that I can do of a day, and and like I said with Cooper and stuff, those little things about ways that I can help Lou, and in comparison to back in the early days when I was kind of caught in the traps of, this is me, this is what I do, and this is all I can do, and sort of stuck in a silly, vicious little bubble.
Yeah.
For myself, but I think that my mind's definitely changed and shifted into more of an open mind.
Yeah, I think it's so important to have that outlook as well. And do you think being around, getting up to making strides or meeting others and being around a bit of a disability community's helped with that as well?
Oh yeah, 100%. Definitely, I even still say to today, like coming up to making strides has definitely opened my eyes and changed my eyes and my my vision and my goals, everything in life really. They're just such positive and happy people, and you every time you go through them roller doors, and everyone in there's gone through a similar thing to both myself and you, and they're fighting their own battles themselves, and but you go in there and they've just got the biggest smiles, and they're full of energy and they're happy, and they're always looking for the positives and not the negatives, and I definitely draw a lot from that, and I realise, and that got me into a state of going, oh, it's actually not so bad after all. Like, there's a lot of people out there that are way worse off than what I am, and I'm grateful that I'm still able to be here and speak, and I can move my head. I can, there's lots of things that I am able to do and I am capable of doing.
Yeah, it definitely gives you that your realization of what's still possible, as well as, I guess, like you mentioned earlier about when you go and be around other people and you're not sure what they're going to say, think of you, or how they're going to interact with you, and you just don't have any of that when you're sort of in that disability community where it's almost like just a unspoken appreciation of what each other have been through, and that sort of thing where everyone understands it. You can be yourself. You don't have to hide. I don't know, just little things like needing help with food or anything like that, where you might try to tuck around the corner at a cafe. Then when you're at strides, you just with other people with disabilities, it's a bit easy where you don't have to worry about those things. So I think it's such an important. I mean, we spoke about community earlier about Tassie and the way they've gotten behind you, and just any sort of community can be massive. But now you are back home, new parents, back in Tassie. What are you turning your attention to now?
I'm definitely going to focus on a lot more of my rehab side of things now. I was caught in a bit of a trap there where I didn't train for quite a while, and
Yep.
I got quite sick, and then I sort of got into that silly vicious circle again of just not doing anything at all, and and I got a little bit trapped in my own head as well, and I was like just training and training and training, and then when you're an able-bodied person, like I used to be, and I used to go to the gym or whatever it might be, or I used to go for a run, and you train and train and train at something, and you start to notice the results.
Yeah.
But being in a chair and obviously being a quadriplegic, you can train, train, train for years to notice the smallest of smallest things,
Yeah.
and it's so hard to obviously draw on those small things, but
Just
see it
stay,
as a bigger positive, like just as big as those big gains. But
yeah, and just stay motivated doing it
yeah,
with that.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that. That yeah, same sort of thing before. You get that it's just that feedback of, you go to the gym for a while and you'll look at yourself and see a change, and
Yep.
you get that positive reinforcement of, okay, what I'm doing is working. And so it's so hard to stay motivated when what you're doing is just, okay, yeah, it might be maintaining what you've got, or it might be the slightest improvements, but
Yep.
it's just so much harder to draw on that and be like, yeah, this is worth it, let's keep going. And yeah,
Yep.
it's just so much easier to fall back in that trap of being lazy and be like, well, what's the point? But yeah, no, so I definitely relate to that. But no, that's awesome to be able to focus on your rehab and just health in general. Is that
Yep.
big side of things, just staying healthy, that extra motivation as well with the little one that you might be able to hear in the background being nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you draw on now as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, staying healthy, and now I've got a family and things, and spending a lot more time with them, and yeah, just really doing family things, I guess, and but also looking forward to with all the new things coming out, like with the new stem cell, and
Yeah,
there's lots of stuff happening in over in the States and things, and but there's lots happening in the world, and it's not a matter of, I guess, if anymore. It's just a matter of when, and
yep,
I know that you'd be just as excited as me, as well as so many other people out there with a disability, that it just gives hope that one day that we hold hope that we might be able to stand up out of these bloody chairs and
yeah.
be able to walk again. But
Yeah, hope's such a big thing, isn't it? Just to have that something to look forward to. It's
yeah,
like I said, very promising and happening here on the Gold Coast too. So yeah, you might have to get yourself back up here more, mate, and
I might have
be
to.
around it.
I
Yeah,
might have.
get out of the Tassie cold.
Yeah, well,
Um, or what about someone else that maybe has just suffered an injury similar to yourself? What advice would you have for them?
I'd definitely say to draw on those around you. Um, yeah, most definitely draw on those people around you, and yeah, that you will have a circle there of support, and that my circle of support that I had at the time definitely got to me to where I am today, and you just got to draw on it, and you just got to stay open minded and communicate, and um, allow those people to come into your life as well, and they're there to want to help you and give you some advice and be there for you, and just know that you just got to allow them to come into your life. And yeah, like a few things I always hold myself to is smile and being grateful and never giving up, and
Yep.
yeah, they're three things that I always draw on.
Yeah, well, like I said, being able to just allow yourself to lean on others is, it's because it is so hard to ask for help, or to allow those people into your life. As you said, I'm sure you're similar in just being independent, working, doing your own thing,
Yeah,
do everything very physical with your life as well. Like I said, footy, working with your hands, to then have all that taken away, and the simplest task that then you're asking for help.
yeah,
It can be just all those little things, just mentally draining to have to do that all the time. So yeah, to focus on those little wins along the way, and remain positive, and when those people are there to help you, just don't, yeah, it's easier said than done, but just don't be afraid to lean on them when you need. So no, I think that's really good advice for someone sustaining a spinal cord injury. It's you don't wish it on anyone, but it unfortunately keeps happening. So until that cure is there, it's going to keep happening. So I think people can take a lot away from that story. I appreciate the honesty as well of those early days, and this month is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. So to be able to show that you had those really negative times of really wishing you weren't here, that to be able to focus and push through, and there are better days coming, and now you're reaping the rewards of that, having a beautiful young family, and yeah, you've got through it, and it's all worth it. So no, I appreciate you coming on and being honest about it.
thank you, mate. Yeah, it's been great to come on and have a chat and share my experience, and hopefully it can help someone out there. And thank you very much, mate.
We'll have to name this episode "Dickheads That Can't Dive." And just
Yeah.
Awesome. Right. Thanks heaps, mate.
Nah,
Cheers.
thanks, mate.
If this episode or any of my episodes do bring up any adverse feelings for yourself, please contact Lifeline for support on 13 11 14. You can also send them a text message on 0477 13 11 14, or go to lifeline.org.au and navigate towards the live chat. Remember to reach out and check in on each other, and that it ain't weak to speak. Also, don't forget to go check out the Instagram page at chatsfromachair_podcast, or the Facebook page at Chats from a Chair Podcast, and let me know who you think I should have on and have a chat with, and also check out all of my past guests, where you can catch up on episodes you might have missed. But that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed this chat as much as I did. Cheers.